Thank God you came. How many more days could I wait? Make plans with you, and I won't let them fall through. I think I lie for you. I think I die for you. Jealousy cry for you. Do things when you want me to. Like control, yeah, like control. Don't work like that when you love somebody. My old flex is my new flex now, and we're working on it. That's why I need all the energy that you bring to me. My last girl would tear me apart, but she never wanna split a thing with me. But when it comes to you, I think I'd lie for you. I think I'd die for you. Do things when you want me to, like control. Like control, yeah. I never wanna waste these shots. I do it how you say you want it. Them girls, they just wanna take my money. They don't want me to give them nothing. They don't want you to have nothing. They don't wanna see me for your love. They don't wanna see me smiling when they
So they made it to Detroit, y'all. This is called border security. They made it to Detroit, but when they got into Detroit, they almost made it through. Let's just get through. We're calling this birth tourism, where a whole lot of them come over here to have these babies to be American citizens.
wanted further inspection. You stated to a previous officer that you were expecting, is that correct? And so how far along are you, ma'am?
4 weeks, because I just got to know.
You said you're 4 weeks?
16 weeks.
10 weeks?
16.
Oh, 16 weeks. How much money are you guys traveling with?
No, she said 4 weeks. Then she said 16 weeks. But let's keep it going. So, pregnant couple lies about plans to give birth in America. They were turned back around, you guys. They were denied because she lied. He might have let her went on through. Because that was 1 year ago, before Trump banned this birthright citizenship. But they'll come over here. They're going to have benefits. They're going to get on Medicaid. They're not going to pay the hospital bills, and then they're going to use. Well, today we're going to be talking about birthright citizen, all the illegal tactics that they use to get into the country just to have a baby so that they can be citizens.
A few years ago, federal authorities in the United States arrested some people because of birth tourism. What is birth tourism? Birth tourism is where foreign nationals travel to give birth in the United States because they want their children to become US citizens or American citizens. And this works because of the legal principle of jus soli. Now, the 14th Amendment to the US Constitution provides that all persons born in the United States, subject to the jurisdiction of the US, are citizens of the United States. So if you're born in the US, you become a US citizen generally. Now, as part of the case that I earlier mentioned, the federal authorities discovered that the couple that had been arrested because of birth tourism, they had paid a hospital just about $4,000 for medical delivery bills of their newborn baby. And the bills were over $28,000. When they looked further, they found out that the couple had more than $220,000 in their US bank account. They further found out that the couple went splurging by making purchases at a Rolex store and at a Louis Vuitton shop in Beverly Hills with bank accounts which had over $200,000. Now, birth tourism has two main issues. Number one, foreign babies obtain US citizenship through a means that the US law sees as illegal, and they treat US citizenship as a commodity, sometimes through potentially criminal acts. The birth tourism industry in the US seen as a source of fraud and other criminal activities. Additionally, by obtaining a child's US citizenship through birth tourism, foreign nationals are able to help that child to avoid scrutiny, standards, and procedures that he or she would normally undergo if he were to apply for citizenship through the process of naturalization. Now, the second issue is that medical fees are usually not paid when birth tourism is involved. Patients fail to pay all the costs of giving birth in the United States, including hospital, doctor, and other bills. And these bills will then be referred to collection. Sometimes these patients, these foreign national patients or people on B2 visas, they would use Medicaid or charity or money from a non-profit, just all these type of aids to pay for the bills. And the US government, again, does not like that. So you will encounter some difficulty if you give birth while you're on a B2 visa in the US. Number one, at the US Embassy, if you go to the US Embassy to get a visa while you're pregnant, or you're going there to renew your visa after delivering in the US, that visa could potentially be denied because of birth tourism. Number two, at the US airport, when you're coming in to deliver, or even on your next trip after delivery of your baby, you could be pulled into secondary inspection and grilled. If you have
So let's take at the birthright citizenship here. We know about the Dred Scott case. I think it was right after the Reconstruction and the Supreme Court case concerning the Dred Scott case, you guys. Dred Scott was a slave that took his owner to court. In that he wanted to be free, he and his family. But when he got into court, George Taney said that blacks was only 3/4 of a human being. They had no rights because they were not citizens. But the 14th Amendment to the U.S. Constitution civil rights was granted in 1868. Passed by Congress June 13, 1866, and ratified July 19, 1868, was the 14th Amendment. It was adopted aftermath of the Civil War, primarily to address the legal status of formerly enslaved people and to ensure their rights and protection as citizens. It was a crucial step in Reconstruction and has been the basis for numerous landmark Supreme Court cases concerning, right, slaves, children. So now you have the United States is very lenient on birthright citizenship. All of a sudden, all the other races came over here, and a lot of races came over here, became citizens. All they had to do was had a child born here, and they could become citizens. But Trump has said, "Oh no, that the 14th Amendment was entitled for the enslaved people and their children to ensure their rights and protect them as citizens." Now, let's just look at what just happened. We had this Nigerian lady coming through here, and she's gonna go through the UK. She's gonna go from Africa to UK to try to get to America to have her child. But what she did not know is that laws have been changed. No more can you come here and have a baby, it would be citizens. Now, she made it to the UK, but they stopped her at the airport.
Study deep into those history books, you will realize there was Afro-Indigenous people on this American land. And after a while, there was a people called Siberians. You can go look them up right now. They're Euro-Asians. They crossed over the Bering Bridge. You can go look that up. They came over and they was greeted and welcomed by an Afro race, a black race. This black race greeted and welcomed them. And they also allowed them to live amongst them. And they lived in peace together. Some of them even started having children. That black race that was here on the American soil they allowed these Siberian Asians to come over. They greeted, welcomed them, and let them in with open arms. They was living at peace. But then, down the line, that's when the Spaniards came over. Christopher Columbus, all them, he was Spaniard. All right, now stay with me, because you know how they teach y'all in school that Christopher Columbus, the one that was here first? Mind you, at this very moment, I'm telling y'all, it's just the Afro-Indigenous people that was there first, and then they greeted the Siberian Asians over there. So now the Spaniards finna come, Christopher Columbus. These Siberian Asian people that the Afro-Indigenous people allowed to come over there and welcome them with peace and open arms, tell me why they decided to gang up with the Spaniards and to enslave the Afro-Indigenous people that allowed them to be on this land. So basically, the Siberian and the Spaniards betrayed the people who welcomed them even on this land. Those Siberian Asians and them Spaniards betrayed those black people that was here already on this land, and they began to enslave them. So these Siberian Asians and these Spaniards started having kids and basically conjoined together. They became one. So now these Siberian Asians and Spaniards is having kids together. The Spaniards started enslaving these Afro-Indigenous people that was here, and the Siberian Asians helped them. And some of those Siberian Asians even became bounty hunters for the Spaniards whenever their slave ended up getting loose or trying to run away. So some of these Siberian Asians became bounty hunters for the Spaniards for when their slave escaped. And that's where you get the scalping of the head from. Now, I know y'all heard of the scalping of the head, bro. I know y'all heard of it. See, the Spaniards was telling the Siberian Asians to go hunt them once they escape. If you can bring them back alive, then do that. But if you couldn't, if you killed that slave, you had to bring a Spaniard back something of that slave to show that you did what you supposed to have done. So they would cut off the scalp every time they caught one of the slaves escaping and bring their scalp back to the Spaniard to show them that they caught the slave. And that's when the Siberian Asians was betrayed by the same people they helped. So that same knife that the Siberian Asians used to stab those Afro-Indigenous people of this land in the back with, those Spaniards took it right out of their back and stabbed those Siberian Asians in the back. And that's where you get the Trail of Tears. That's when you get the Trail of Tears. Let's put the truth out there for real. Let's put the truth out there for real. And that's where you get the Trail of Tears. Basically telling those Indians that they couldn't stay on the land as well. And even with that, they were still given a deal. Basically, we'll give y'all your own reservations. Y'all still get some land out of it. Because at the end of the day, y'all helped us take over this land. So we're going to give y'all a deal also. We'll give y'all reservations, reparations. We'll make sure y'all straight. But this our land. That's how the Europeans did them Indians after they stabbed those Afro-Indigenous people in the back. And when I say Indians, Native Indians, because that was part of the deal. That's what y'all gonna be called. We still gonna give y'all your reparations, your reservations, and we gonna give y'all the name of Native Indians. We gonna make sure y'all straight, but we want y'all to know that this is our land now. So now those European Spaniards took over the whole thing now. And that's why Christopher Columbus said he discovered America. You see where I'm going? Now the Afro-Indigenous people got stabbed in the back, then Siberian Asians were stabbed in the back, given the name Native Indians, and now the Europeans taking over, and now their history is that, hey, they found this land. And there was a great deal given. They got their own reservations, they got reparations they getting, all this different money. Shoot, they the ones that mainly own all the casinos. The Native Indians, Siberian Asians, mixed with some European, Spaniard, probably some of the Afro-Indigenous people. And not only that, even when they gave them that deal, they even gave them the deal for them to take even some of the slaves and take them on their land. So they even allowed them to have their own slaves. So some of the black people, some of the Afro-Indigenous people was over there on their reservations. They had slaves, the Native Indians. So this Trail of Tears, it probably was them crying. Because they was betrayed by the people that they was helping to betray the Afro-Indigenous people here. So yeah, they was crying because they were betrayed. They thought that this was gonna be their land together. And you wanna know what the craziest part is? That even when the Civil War and all that started happening, and the slaves was told that they could be free now, do y'all know that these Native Indians was the last people to let go of their slaves, the Siberian Asians, that's the Native Indians. They was the last people to let go of their slaves. They was the main ones that didn't want to give it up when they was told to give their slaves up. Like, a lot of the soldiers had to go over there and make them give up their slaves. Our people are really native of this land.
Hey, what's happening, Tribe? Hey, this finna be the post right here. So, I don't know if y'all heard about Native American tribes trying to go to the government to add black Indians into their tribe, man. One thing about it, man, once the truth started coming out, then everybody got to start telling the truth. It's a karma thing. You gotta tell the truth once the truth come out. They're like, oh, they woke. We need them on our side, because now they know the truth. It's up. But hold on real quick. Let me show y'all what I'm talking about. Alright, here we go right here. Cherokee tribes and the inclusion of black Indians, freedmen. It's my mom's maiden name, Freeman. The Cherokee Nation has acknowledged and affirmed the right of the descendants of black people once enslaved by the tribe, known as the Cherokee Freemen. So you telling me Native Americans enslaved black people? But y'all be all on our posts making racist remarks telling us that we ain't Indian and telling us that we from Africa. But your Cherokee Nation has acknowledged and affirmed the right of the descendants of black once enslaved by your tribe. So you telling me y'all enslaved indigenous people? So you telling me these Native Americans that look like Siberians, look like white folks, look like Mexicans, look like Hispanics. So you telling me them same people enslaved black tribe, black people. You see what I'm saying? So y'all enslaved indigenous black people. They got the nerve to come on our pages being disrespectful. I'm finna put all this business out here. Everybody need to know this. Y'all make sure y'all share, comment, goddamn like this shit. Show your mama, show your grandma. The Cherokee Nation has acknowledged and affirmed the right of the descendants of black people once enslaved by the tribe. They're not talking about Africans. They didn't say Africans. They said black people. And they don't want to say black Indians because that's who we are. Inclusion of black Indians. So they didn't want to say down here that they enslaved black Indians. These Siberian, Mongolian, they worked as slave catchers. They enslaved black indigenous people with those same white people. Y'all need to know what's going on. So stop saying that these Cherokee white Mongolian people are the true Indians. No, the black Indians are. Now let's go to this. Now this why I fuck with my uncle Deontay Trump. Because he know the truth. He know what's going on. And I've been trying to tell y'all that for the longest, all my black people. But y'all so caught up in this racist stuff of what white people did to us that you think all white people are against us. Did y'all know that it was some white people helped us during slavery? But that's another story. This what my boy Trump doing. Native communities could lose $24.5 billion under Trump administration proposal. If upheld by the courts, the proposed freeze on federal grants would affect nearly every tribe. Nah, this ain't old news. What it is, July the 24th or something like that? They published this July the 15th. This new news. Yeah. So all y'all hating Native American tribes that don't know nothing, because that's all y'all do in court. You say, I don't know nothing. Y'all don't know nothing truly. Because black indigenous people.
So this is by Mahogany Culture and Tra, T-R-A. Now, I grew up with my grandpa and grandparents verbally telling me that mostly my grandmother said she was Cherokee, grandfather said he was Blackfoot. So I grew up knowing this, right? So people would laugh at you when you say, "Well, look, we are the real Indians." They would laugh at you and say you did not want to be black. Anyway, you guys, some of the racist people there were black. We're Indians, you guys. Yeah, they had us in slavery too.